It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And hello to you, my neighbor Nomies. Welcome back on the MT and Me, and it is a gorgeous day. Blue sky, sunshine, almost 80 degrees here near the end of February. Hard to believe, but it's true. And a nice little southern breeze blowing, so we're out here this afternoon to try and maybe make a little more progress on Pearl's rear wheel that needs the brake assembly reassembled. Okay? Although we're not going to get it done today, the overall job is to try and make this look more like this. Or kinda, anyway. We'll see. My Nomies, I really do appreciate you joining us again here on the MT and Me. And before we even get started, let me just say to you, if you're not a subscriber, please do so. One click below and you can take care of that. And by subscribing, you're really going to help our YouTube numbers and viewership numbers especially, and help the channel do better. Giving us a thumbs up on this video is also a big help too. So I would appreciate you showing your support and joining us each and every week here on the MT and Me. Now, last week, you may remember we tackled this rear tire. Already had the wheels off, getting that dually taken apart. And then we decided to go ahead and pull the axle out, get the brake drum off again, and kind of remind ourselves where we stand. And where we stand is just with a bare wheel backing. This is just what they call the backing plate of the brake system. And it right now has absolutely nothing on it except for the brake cylinder. We left it in place. Everything else is in this box at my feet. This includes all the stuff we took off just last week, the bearings, the nuts, everything holding the axle in place. But all of these other parts, well, we took those out several years ago. And I thought that once again we might take a moment and go back in time about three and a half years, something like that, to the day that I took all of the guts out of Pearl's rear brake, just to kind of remind us all of the process and give an idea of what we're going to have to reverse process to put everything back. Thank you.
I'm going to go start getting some cardboard typewriter.
Okay, I got all the guts out except for the emergency brake arm and the emergency brake cable. I'm just not sure how to disconnect them, but I do have them tucked so that they're not going to be rattling loose or anything. Like I said, we're not driving this MT without a brake. We're simply rolling it around here in the yard, so I'm not too concerned about it. You know, before I put that drum back on, I think I'm going to go get a little more information and see if I can't find out how to get that emergency brake arm off. Just in case, that way it ensures that it's not going to fly loose and jam this wheel again, because I don't want to go through all this stuff once again, you know. I decided to refer to this wonderful book, the entire official shop manual to this model Dodge van and RV. And inside it, there's this wonderful blowout of the brake assembly. It shows me right up where.
It's called a blow up.
Blowout, blow up, it's a small matter. It shows you right up here that there's a nut on the back that holds this arm on. So that's what I've got to do, is remove that nut, and I'll be able to take off the emergency brake arm. And this is kind of an initiation for this, because I think I'm finally getting my first greasy fingerprints of many to come on my brand new book. So there we are. But nonetheless, that's the first step. Get that nut off, get that arm out, and then I'm going to go ahead and see about still removing the emergency brake cable completely, because it's going to have to come out. I'm going to replace it as well. And that'll give me a complete access to the backing plate to get it brushed, some of the rust brushed off, and get it cleaned up. Then we'll get the drum cleaned up, and then we'll see about getting that thing back on the axle. So, to sum all this up, we got to take all these parts here and put them back in the wheel and put the brake back together. I think we have our work cut out for us. Oh, well, let's take a moment and look at these parts bit by bit. Starting with the brake shoes. These are the old shoes. One of them, the one that was on the front here of the brake assembly, is the one that was totally jammed against the inside of the brake drum and preventing it from turning. The back one, the one that was on the back side, really had no problem. They are both rather worn, and both, of course, are slated for repair. These are, as you can probably tell, 3-inch brake pads. So Got to get a couple more of those brand new. Still haven't bought them yet, but I will get them and we'll take care of that, okay? Because they're kind of important to the brakes. This next piece, which has all kinds of moving parts to it that I don't fully understand, but I don't have to understand it. I just have to put it back together the way it was. This is the parking brake, the emergency brake. It goes right here. It sits something like that. And then this is the cable. It actually goes behind and comes through this hole here and connects to the bottom of it. Okay. And this goes down and becomes part of the brake adjustment, along with this little lever and this little gear contraption, which sits right down here at the bottom. Well, it has a brake shoe in each end of it, kind of, to hold it in place. You have to look at the diagram or one of the pictures to see how it all fits together. Okay, so there's all those parts. And then, of course, there are springs. These are the springs that came out. The little springs like this, of which this one is broken, by the way, that actually hold the brake shoes in place. They retain them. This larger spring goes, I think, across the top. It's a tensioner, basically, for the shoes that also affects the function of the parking brake. And then there's one other spring here, which I'm not really sure what it does, but it does something. And then there's this little one right here, which I think was is part of the tensioner on the adjustment that I showed you. These are all the old springs, and of course I've bought new springs. I showed you, I guess, a couple months ago here, whenever they came in here on the MT and Me. Let's see what we have in here. Brake springs. Now, right now, it's a bit of an embarrassing moment for me because I can't seem to find those new springs. I know I have them. I was worried about finding all these old parts, but I had stuck them all in a box and shoved them way back under a shelf in my workshop. And I knew that if I ever found them, they were all together, and sure enough they were, so everything's cool there. And then I started looking for the, it's just a plastic bag that has all of those new springs in it. I don't know what I did with it. Here again, it will turn up. It's somewhere, it's on my workbench, or maybe even inside Pearl here, I'm not sure. I'm just going to have to look and see. But obviously, I'm going to have to find those springs before we can even think about getting started on rebuilding the brakes. And, of course, I have to get the new pads as well. So that'll be taken care of here probably in the next few days. This next week, I'll get these out to get them locally, or I'll order them. And I think the other parts we have, the adjustment, the emergency brake arm and all that, can just be put right back in because there again, there's no damage to them. There's no problem. If I can just get them put back in correctly, then I think that we'll be just fine there. The key, of course, is putting them back in correctly. Yeah. I have made no secret in this project that this is all new territory for me. I've changed pads on disc brakes for years and years on probably just about every model of vehicle out there. Not a problem. I've never fixed a drum brake in my life. Just never had to do it, as it turned out. So it's now turning out that I have to do it. So, gee, time to learn something new and figure it out from scratch. And I'm going to drag you along here on the MT and Me as well. A few of you have already chimed in with some tips and advice, mostly just saying, boy, you're in for a lot of fun and frustration. And I realize that. I know that's the situation. So, here again, I'm open to your ideas and suggestions. And certainly going to sit down and go to YouTube University over this next couple of weeks, watch lots of videos on the subject, and see if I can't give myself a crash course in doing brake work. It's one of those things that I realize it's not, mechanically speaking, that big a deal. It's certainly not rocket science by any means. And as far as fixing things on a vehicle, probably doing the brakes are one of the simpler DIY projects that you can come across. It's just that I have never DIY'd it. So it's something totally new for me as far as the drum brakes go. And the fact that they are heavy duty. I mean, this is a big Dana rear system with the floating axle and huge these brake drums. I'm not kidding. You may remember, let me show you here, I smashed a finger. See there? It's still all bruised under the nail and everything because whenever I took that brake drum off, I let it slip and it pinched itself, pinched my finger against the shaft, the axle shaft, sleeve. And man, it hurt, and it still hurts because the pressure under the nail there. And that's been over a week now. So yes, I've gotten my injury from this, and I don't want to get another one. But my point is that that brake drum weighs probably about 75 or 80 pounds. It's just a big, heavy iron, structure that you have to handle with care. And lugging it around, trying to get it lined up and push back on that axle for a little old weak man like me is a bit of a challenge in itself. But I'll take care of it, don't you worry. We'll get there. And I hope you'll come along and stay with me in the future videos here the next few weeks as we work on getting this rear wheel brake system back together on Pearl. It's going to be a learning experience for me, maybe for you too. I don't know. If you can pick something up by watching it, more power to you. And like I said, give me your comments and suggestions about it all the way through. I love hearing from you. I think this is kind of going to be where we stop at for today. Here again, haven't really tackled this work, but without the brake pads, and until I find the springs that I seem to have misplaced, there's not a whole lot we can do. So I will look for them. I'll buy some pads. I'll watch a lot of videos, and when we come back to you next week, maybe we can at least get started on this brake adventure on Pearl's rear wheel. I hope you'll join me for it. Hope you'll join me each and every week here on the MT and Me. We post every Sunday morning, a video a week. I haven't missed one yet in almost 5 years. So I'm not going to start now by any means. Check us out, okay? And like I said earlier, give me a like, subscribe, and be one of my regular nomies here on the MT and Me, okay? I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support and your comments and your ideas. Till next time around, I'm Russ, and we will talk later.